Hi, welcome. Thanks so much for taking part in this behind the scenes look at the planning session. And what you're going to find is a step-by-step play in how to engage that new business partner entering our grid successfully into your business and onto your team. You're going to learn today what to expect, how to implement, and the benefit of connecting strongly with your new business partner. The planning session will take 2 hours, of which 20 minutes will be socializing, and the balance will be engaging with them through these steps that I'm going to be sharing with you. So at the time of enrollment, when somebody joins our grid by purchasing a Fast Start 0, 1, 2, or 3 package, we're going to immediately hand them our Steps to Success document. It is our 4-step process, and you should have that document printed out as you would enrollment applications to be readily available to show them that we're serious about their investment and we're going to help them immediately engage effectively. Have them speak to nobody until they get to their planning session, which is why it's urgent to have that planning session within 72 hours. And if you can, I suggest having at least 2 planning sessions weekly so that you can have people joining during the beginning of the week or the end of the week, the middle of the week, but still getting to a planning session within that 72-hour period of time. I suggest having one in the afternoon and one in the evening to allow for convenience of your new business partner, which one works best for them. And the purpose of the planning session is for us to be able to plug in with them effectively. It gives us that opportunity to truly connect with our new business partner, which will ensure a far better list from them ongoingly, right? Because we know the list constantly is growing, and we're showing them by example exactly what to do when they sign up a new business partner entering their grid. So first thing we want to do is check their homework as indicated on the Step to Success document and see if they have completed it. If they haven't, we've got a slight reason for concern, but don't be alarmed. Give them an opportunity to do it today. But we want to make sure that we are giving them the homework effectively at the time of enrollment so that when they show up for the planning session, by us having reviewed our Step to Success document with them effectively, then we're setting them up for success. So when we host the planning session, we want to do it in a centrally located area where all of the team can participate. And as your teams grow, you'll see the value of this being a centrally located area where anybody and everybody has easy access to it. And if it means that you have to drive further out of your way as the team leader, then so be it. Because this is no longer about you, it's about all of them that said yes to you. What I'd like to do is have a pre-planning session meeting with all of the sponsoring IREPs that should be in the room. Every single person attending the planning session as a new IREP needs to have their sponsor there. This causes the connection. It also shows a community, and it allows for the upline introductions to occur. If you can have internet connectivity, that's great because you can run some videos prior to and at the end when socializing. When we're socializing, we're going to introduce partners. We're going to introduce the upline. We're going to share the culture and allow everybody to have an opportunity to meet the team and have some light food. Make it fun as I do, where I offer potluck. Everybody can bring an appetizer, a salad, a dessert. I'll handle the entrees, and it makes it a fun time for all. And people start to look forward to that. Distractions, let's limit them by having a note on the door. Meeting in progress, please come on in. The host will then welcome and introduce senior IREPs in the room to explain the importance of the new IREPs being here today. And then we're going to break out based on teams. And the 90 minutes will start now. So when we start the planning session, we want to connect first and foremost with our new IREPs. Ask them some questions, talk about them, right? But by asking questions, it allows them to engage in the conversation, and people like to be heard. So ask them pointed questions. So what do you do full time? What's your job? What's your primary source of income? How many children do you have? What's the age of your children, right? We want to connect with them and understand them. And this will give us an opportunity to start that connection process that will provide us with loyalty from our new IREP because they see the value in us taking the time and connecting with them and understanding who they are. And then we're going to review their homework, go over their list, understand the individuals that are on the list, and have them make some notes about each and every person so that when we do our three-way calls with them later today, we can have an understanding. So is it somebody that is a single parent, perhaps? Or maybe it's a police officer or somebody that was prior military, or maybe it's somebody that's looking for work. Maybe it's somebody that is a doctor or is a student, right? Whatever the information we can get, and as much of it as we can get, is going to allow us to create a connection on the phone with that prospect. We have to deal with the dream stealers. We've got to deal with it routinely, right? Because on Steps to Success document, you can see that that's one of the bits of homework, but we need to send them out of their enrollment opportunity, understanding that people will try to steal their dream. And we need to express to them that why is it we give the people closest to us so much power in their judgment of us? Why are their opinions so important to us when chances are their life is in turmoil and they haven't figured out how to survive the recession or to reinvent themselves and create a new income? We need to point that out. And when you do that, and the way I express it is, we give so much strength and power to the people closest to us that are harshest in their judgments of us, but they're not paying our bills. And chances are, truly, that their lives are in as much disarray, and they simply don't want to work to find a solution. And they're afraid that you will. And that would show that they weren't smart enough to engage. And that's really a psychological aspect that's very real and very true. Then we need to understand their why. Share your why. My why is I simply wanted my children to see that while they grew up with the life of Riley, we had everything under the sun and lost everything. I wanted my children to learn a life lesson that just because their father was down and out and kicked to the curb, that was not going to be a final position for me. I wanted them to see that I respected that I had my strength, health, and stamina to get up and go again, and I did. So my why is I want my children simply to be proud of their father. And when we have something that strong, you'll never quit on your kids. Right? So that's my why, and maybe you could share yours with your new IREPs that are there and encouraging them to have one as deeply emotional, because the deeper it is, the more emotional it is, the better chance that they'll stay. You're going to want to also explain to them the aspect of leading with the business versus leading with the products, and use the prescription analogy. And that goes as such. When we lead with the business, we're looking for business partners, and this is a business, make no mistake. And when we lead with the products, we're looking for consumers, and we'll find consumers. We absolutely will. But consumers seldomly convert over to a business partner. And in our case, here's why. Medical doctors struggle to keep their patients on prescriptions, whether it's antibiotics or pain medicine. They just simply are challenged regularly with their patients finishing prescriptions. And ask yourself, have you ever done that? And here's what happens is we're very diligent in taking those prescriptions as soon as we get them because there's an urgency. But as soon as we start feeling better, the urgency is gone and we simply forget to take them. It's not that we are determined to not take them, but we forget to take them. And the same thing occurs with our product being as good a product as it is. It will satisfy the need for those that are looking for discomfort relief. And as soon as they're feeling better, they will forget to take it. And as a result of forgetting to take it, their auto shipment will show up. They'll figure out how to shut it off by going into the back office, which is going to prompt you to call them to ask them why they turned it off. And they're not going to take your call because they know you're calling because they turned it off. Right? So now we become part of the NFL, no friends left. So what I encourage you to do is understand that that's a net result of leading with the product solely. But if we lead with the business, we can always fall back on the product if somebody says no to the business. If we're leading with the product, there's no chance of somebody building a business if they're not interested with the product. So use the prescription analogy and explain to your folks that this is a business for business-minded folks that understand the value of a company that's rock solid, debt-free, that has products that are highly consumable and patented, with 37 clinical research studies proving what the efficacy is of our products. And we haven't yet gone global. That should be enough information right there to cause any business-minded individual to want to hear more. So now what I'd like you to do is share with them our team, calls, webinars, meetings, whatever you have in your arsenal. You have my document that has all of our webinars and conference calls weekly, right? But I want you to then spend the next 20 minutes going over their back office. The communication settings, are they getting emails? Is the right email address in there? Get their direct deposit information, because the debit card has small fees associated with each and every purchase, and you get paid faster when it's directly deposited. What's the benefits of the holding tank? We can share people in other organizations within our teams that may live in close proximity to each other to not create a competitive element in a small market. Auto shipment dates. We want to know where our business is each and every month, no later than the 15th of the month. So if your people are joining before the 15th, fine. If they're joining after the 15th, you want to encourage them at the planning session to move their shipments back to around the 10th of the month. So by the 15th, we know where our business stands and we know what we have to do for the balance of the month. Go through the resources, show them all the self-replicated sites that they now own, and all the before and after pictures and all the wonderful things that are there. Where to get their applications for wholesale members and for IREPs. Show them the genealogy tree. Show them your genealogy tree, because they don't have one yet. They just have them, right? And teach them how to enroll. Go through the enrollment process of filling out an application properly, capturing all the information effectively, and then show them where they can buy their business cards. Now, I'd like to encourage everybody to spend the last 40 minutes going over the following items, because the goal here is to protect their business before they have a business. And you need to tell them this. People become very excited with that statement of knowing that failure is an option if they quit. But our job as their sponsor and their upline is to protect their business before they have one by making sure that they don't go out and do this wrong. Right? And so share that statement. And then we're going to teach them how to invite over the phone. And what I like to do is at the planning session, they should have shown up with their list. You should have made notes about those people and start calling a few. Have them call and simply say, Bill, I've just recently got involved with something that I want you to hear more about, but I'm so new and I want to make the best first impression possible. I'm sitting here with my business partner, Mike. Can I put him on the line just to say a brief hello and explain what we're doing? I think you'll be very impressed. And then they hand you the phone. Put it on speaker so they can hear what you're saying, what they're saying, what they're responding with. And we're going to do one call, and then we're going to critique it. And then we're going to do another call. And then we're going to do a third call, because the objective here, according to our Steps to Success document, is to help them sponsor their first 4 people. Right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go overcome the objections. And you'll see in my detailed grid training PowerPoint and video, which I will attach to our document, you can click on that and watch exactly how to overcome objections using feel, felt, and found. And here's the simple version of that rather lengthy explanation. Any objection fielded should never be defended by us, because that's an argument, because we're not agreeing with the prospect. So when we overcome objections, you want to let them know that we understand exactly how they feel. And we've now aligned with them. I understand exactly how you feel. We're not arguing. And I once felt exactly the same way, but what I found, Bill, having done a tremendous amount of research on this industry, is that we can make more money doing this with a company that's solid, with patented products before they go global, than anything else we could imagine. Can you move your schedule around and take a closer look? You can use feel, felt, and found for any objection that you get. And then we want to schedule firm appointments with our prospects. So as our new IREP continues to make calls after the planning session, we want them to know scheduling firm appointments by getting a commitment by their prospect. by getting a firm commitment from their prospect to be on the line for a three-way call. And it can be something as easy as this. Bill, my partner Mike is extremely busy. I know he'll make time for us because I've told him a lot of wonderful things about you. Can you please ensure that you're on the call a moment or two early to prevent me from being embarrassed? Because Mike is busy. Okay, so we want to get that yes. We also want to encourage our new partner to not blast anything out on social media. This now takes away the element of surprise in us calling their prospects, because everybody they know is now seeing what they're doing on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever else. So it's very important that we practice the statement that we're here to protect their business before they have a business. And these are very critical elements of their confidence, either surging or never even accelerating. Because the many things that we've learned is the higher the confidence level of our new IREP and what we've shown them, shared with them, and taught them, the more likely that they'll be successful. And then we also want to prepare for their dream stealers. Again, we do it at the time of enrollment as per Steps to Success document, and you want to do it again. What is it that they're going to say to those who are going to try and deter them from this opportunity? This is a very critical part of us protecting their business as well. Because if we can give them the tool, the arsenal, and it can be something very simple. And here's what I use. Well, if you had something to share with me that was working extremely well for you, I'd be so happy to see it. And if you don't, I'd appreciate your support if you can come and at least see what I'm doing. Again, we're not in the goal of arguing. That's not the goal here, is to argue or to create adversarial relationships with the people closest to us. What we want to do is we want to create a connection or an opportunity to educate them and pull them into the looking zone, as opposed to arguing with them, fighting, defending, and doing all of those things. So now at the end of the planning session, it's time to be observant. You need to make sure that you're not overwhelming your new IREP and pushing them out with too much responsibility before they're even really in, right? Because they're so young and new. Watch their body language. As you're talking and making note of specific topics, are they uncomfortable with those topics that you're talking about? And if they are, move on, right? Reinforce that we're excited to be working together and that we're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves, and we're having a great time doing it. If they start glazing over, right, get up, walk away, go to the restroom, ask them to take a walk with you, or get up and go get something to drink together. Regroup, ask a couple more questions to get them involved in the conversation. And the final point of any and all meetings, I don't care what kind of meeting it is in our business, always end 5 minutes prior to the scheduled ending time. People will be so respectful of our commitment of staying true to our time slot, as opposed to running long just because maybe a couple want to stay longer, right? You can call the meeting over, and if people want to hang out, that's fantastic. But allow people the opportunity to get back to their families 5 minutes early, and you'll have a very, very loyal attendance. Because a lot of times when these meetings run long, and I've been to meetings where they've run 2 hours long, I don't want to go back to them because I'm afraid they're going to run 2 hours long again. But if they always ended on time or early, that would be very refreshing. So this is the back end component of what it is we're hoping to achieve from a planning session. What I'm going to be doing is offering a video that will be the exact planning session that you can use by clicking a link until you're comfortable enough with the content yourself. But I hope that this helps. Thank you.